All right, guys, so we are back. All right, so we should be able to finish up the rest of our style sheet and the rest of the Dreamweaver portion of this task by just in this one little video. Okay, so next thing we're going to do in our style sheet is we're going to create a style for my H1 and my H2 headers, so that text displayed is center aligned and the font displayed is the following. Okay, so let me show you what and how we're going to do that. So the font style for my H1 and my H2 headers will be, the first choice will be Lucinda Grand. If a browser does not have that, the second choice will be Lucinda Sans Unicode. If a web browser doesn't have that, the third choice will be the browser sans serif font. And don't forget, a sans serif font, it is a type of font that has no fancy stuff. It's not, there's no cursive in it, okay? So for example, the way they've written all this font in your test, that is a sans serif font. I think it's probably Arial. Okay, so don't forget, sans serif is not a specific type of font, it's just how a font looks. Sans serifs are plain fonts. Okay, a serif font has fancy cursive, could be something like New York Times. Can't think of another one off the top of my head, but yeah. So, and I'll show you what that looks like. So let's start with building the H1 first. So our H1 fonts, they're all going to have these font styles in a row, and they're also going to be center aligned. 6 is center aligned. Yep, so we'll start with that. Okay, we'll start with the font size. Okay, so the thing I want to change is H1. So curly Q bracket. So I start to type that in. Okay, and great. So yeah, this is where my knowledge of HTML has to come in. I want it to be a font family. Okay, I want it to be font family. I don't want it just to be font. I want it to be the font family. And as I know I'm on the right track, okay, because I have now, it shows me the different types of fonts. And I can see here, okay, because I've already previously put this in a test, it has given me a choice to do this, okay? Let's pretend, though, that we don't see this, because this is common on the test. It's very common on the test that they'll give you a bunch of different types of font, like they did here, and there's nowhere to be found. Even if I click on Manage Fonts, I won't find them. So I will type them in, okay? So the first one I want to be Lucidia Grand, okay? All right, oops, sorry. Clicked on the wrong thing. Okay, so I now put in, okay, I started to put in a, not parenthesis, but the quotation marks, okay, single quotation mark, and it'll prompt me once again for different types of fonts. So this one is going to be how do I spell it again? Lucida Grand. Okay, let's do it with a capital just to make sure in case it's case sensitive. Lucid Grand is my first choice, okay? And then my second choice is going to be Lucida. What is it again? Lucida Sans Unicode. Lucida. Last choice will be sans serif. Okay, so I'll just type in there. Okay, and so that's great. I'm done with the font family. Okay, so now I'm done with changing the type of font family that I'm going to have, so I'm going to put in a semicolon there. Okay. So, font family, my first choice for my web browser would be Lucida Grand. If it doesn't see it, it'll go Lucida Sans Unicode. If it doesn't see it, it'll pick whatever my web browser's default sans serif font is. Okay, so the next thing I want to change is H1 and H2's text display to center line. Okay, I want to make sure that my text is center aligned. Okay, so I will sorry, go back here. Let's see. Line. Okay. See, as I start putting in a line, right, it starts to prompt me with different choices. Okay, so I'm going to do line content. Good. Align content, okay. And we want it to be centered, okay. Great, so I've now told it that I want my, whatever's in there, I want my content to be aligned center. So I'm done with that. Put in another semicolon. And I also want my H1 to be a height of 24 pixels. Okay, so let's see, height of 24 pixels. Very straightforward. Height, nope, I don't want it to be auto, I want it to be 24px. Okay, semicolon, because now I'm going to go on to the next thing I want to change. And I want it to have a color, a color with a green component of 1F and no other color components. All right, just got to put this on pause for a sec because I need to download something to do that, and I will show you what we need to do. Okay, guys, I'm back. So the last thing I want to do with my H1 heading tags is I want it to have a color with a green component of 1F and no other color components. Oh my God, all right? So 1F, that doesn't tell me much, but it does tell me a lot, all right? We just have to look at it with common sense. So it says a color with a green component of 1F and no other color components. Well, I know that in HTML code that all of my colors are going to be in a hexadecimal value, okay? And I know that they are going to be in an RGB value. So let's start with what they give us. They tell us that the green component is going to be 1F. So I know that the G value, my G value will be 1F. So let's just go back there. Okay, don't forget all my colors need to start with the hashtag. Okay, so my red value, it says a color component, color with a green component of 1F, no other color component. So in other words, 0 means no color. So my red value, or my R value, will be simply 0. My green value, remember they tell us the green value will be 1F. Okay, so I will put that in, 1F, and my blue value, RGB, my blue value is going to be, because it says no color component, my blue value would be 0. Once again, do a semicolon, and I believe I'm done with all of that stuff for my H1. I'm just going to save it, okay? All right, I'm just going to jump ahead and put this on pause. I'll do the H2 value because it's basically the same, but I will do it to save time off camera, and I'll show you guys what I did. All right. Okay, guys, just to save some time, what I did is I went ahead and created the H2 value because it's basically very similar to the H1. Okay. What I did is because the H2 is very similar to the H1, I just had to change a few things. What I did was I copied it. Okay, so I copied everything for H1. So I just highlighted it. Boom, 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 boom. Oops, sorry, I'm going to highlight it. Highlighted it all. I went to edit, copy, all right, and then I just pasted it here, and I changed it from H1 to H2. And the two things I had to change were my H2 has to be 16 pixels. Okay, go back here because it tells me My H2 has to be a height of 16 pixels. And the color instead of being this hexadecimal value, which if I put my cursor on is about it looks like a black, okay? My color value for this one is like a dark blue, okay? And once again, they tell me the H2 color will be a blue component of 4C and no other color components. So remember, RGB, the first two digits are the second two digits, G, and the last two, B for blue. So I know that it's going to be all zeros except for 4C at the end, which will be my blue value. Okay, so looks like that is good. Dun, 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 dun. Yep, that's looking good. Okay, and now this is, yep, okay, we're almost done. I need to add my name, center number, candidate number to the bottom of my style sheet as a comment. Okay, let me show you how you do comments. So, you want to, I can put in as many different lines as I want. Okay, don't forget, HTML skips through white spaces in coding, so it doesn't matter how many I put in. And the test doesn't tell me how many I put in, so it doesn't matter. Okay, so in order to add comments, I do backslash, and then I do, where's my little star, backslash, there it is, star, and the comment I want to put in is the name, center number, candidate. Okay, so Mr. Close it out with star. Okay, so comments. This is how I create a comment. Forward slash star, then star forward slash. Comments, okay, I can create comments on my HTML or my style sheet. What the comments do is it won't be seen on my website, but it can give me explanations. In this case, I'm just putting my name, but say, for example, I wanted to say, hey, this is a font family that I created that will do whatever. I could put that in comments right beside here. It won't be seen in my website, but it might give me a reminder of something as a programmer. It also might give tips to other programmers who are looking at my code, what it is that I've done. All right, I think I've done everything in this. That looks cool. Okay, the last thing I need to do then is I need to actually attach the style sheet. Okay, so I need to attach the style sheet to my website that I've been working on. Okay, so I will do this. Okay, that's my website there that I've been working on, Dreamweaver Practice 1. Okay, and I need to do this. I need to go to Tools. Okay, just make sure, make sure first of all that you are in the style sheet that you want to attach. So I've selected the style sheet that I want to attach, and I go to Tools, CSS, Attach Style Sheet. Okay. That's the style sheet. Okay, that's the HTML file that I've been working on, and I want to attach my style sheet to that. I do OK. That looks good. Import it. Yep. I hit OK, and I'm good to go. And it will. All right, it'll give it some. I just need some time to actually let it process to render, but it will attach it. Okay, let's just see if I've missed anything else. Save your web page. We'll do that in class, how to show you the evidence. Okay, so place a copy of the HTML source in your evidence folder. So I would need to go back to this in order to put all of this in my evidence file. Okay, I'd need to cut and paste all of my code. Okay, I need to cut and paste all of my code and put that into my evidence folder. Okay, let's just make sure that we save this. Yep. Okay, let's go back. And yep, that looks good. Okay, so that's what my CSS sheet did. There she is there at the bottom. Okay, so yeah, looks good. Okay, so yep, that is it. That's your test in a nutshell. Okay, bye guys.